Hello everyone, welcome to NeenvIAS. In this IR series, we'll be discussing about the conflict in Sudan. Now, where is Sudan? What is the conflict all about? What are the reasons for the conflict to begin? Who are these people? And what is the current state of the conflict? Let's begin. Instead of thinking it as a lecture, let's think of it as a movie, a story. So, where is this story set? This story is set in Sudan. Sudan is a country located in the northeastern part of Africa. It is bordered by Egypt, Libya, Chad on one side, then South Sudan, Ethiopia, Eritrea on other side. Its capital is Khartoum. And like most of the African countries, this Sudan is also a very poor country with lot of humanitarian crisis. Many issues like poverty and hunger exist. And a unique characteristics of Sudan is the majority of the population are Muslim because it is located very close to the Arabian Peninsula and Egypt, Eritrea, Ethiopia. The majority of the people here are Muslims, and there are also other ethnic population located in Sudan, especially the ethnic Africans who are located in the western part of Sudan, but they are minority in number. This fact is important for our analysis. Now, with this understanding, let's proceed further. Now, in our story, we should have actors. Now, who are our actors? We should remember these three people. The first guy is this guy standing in the center, President Omar al Bashir. So, what happened? Until 1989, this President Omar al Bashir, in 1989, he was the head of the army of Sudan. He overthrew the current ruling government, the established government, citing reasons that there is crisis in the country and the army can give a better administration. This guy made a military coup and overthrew the ruling government. Now, what is a military coup? Military coup is when the military of a particular country overthrows the ruling establishment, the established government, and takes on the ruling of the country. So that is a military coup. This guy, President Omar al-Bashir, he did a military coup in 1989 and overthrew the popular government, and he declared himself the president, the head of the armed forces, and the supreme commander, and he started ruling the country. So from 1989 to 2019, for almost 30 years, this guy has been ruling the country. When you rule a country for such a long period of time, and if you don't have strong morals, and especially if you have negative background, you will end up doing a lot of negative things. So this guy, our President Omar al-Bashir, he also did a lot of negative things, like he committed genocide in the Darfur region. Now, where is Darfur located? It is a region located in the western part of Sudan, where the majority of the people are ethnically Africans. I told you initially, remember, that the fact that the majority of the Muslims are located in the eastern part of Sudan and the African ethnic people are located in the western part of Sudan. So what this president did, he sent his army, his paramilitary force, and tried to kill this ethnic Africans and wipe out them. And because of which he is wanted by the International Court of Justice and the International Criminal Court. Now people got fed up of him. In spite of ruling for 30 years, there was no good governance and he did lot of negative things, committed genocides. He was ruling like a dictator. And finally in 2019, what happened? The existing members of the army inspired people, and the people also were fed up. So people came to the streets, they were protesting against President Omar al-Bashir, and two people saw this opportunity. The existing two people are our other two actors. So now comes in our second actor and our third actor. So this scary looking guy is General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. He is the head of the Sudanese army, and this third guy, he is his deputy. So basically, this guy, Muhammad Hamdan Dagalo, he was earlier the right hand man of Burhan. Why I am saying he was, we'll see. So this guy, he is also a leader of this paramilitary force called RSF, Rapid Support Forces. And like I said, he was a deputy to Al Burhan. He was his right hand man. Even though he is very innocent looking, this guy is also very scary. We'll go into the details. Like I said, in 2019, finally, they did another military coup and they tried to establish a popular government. And what was a popular government? A civilian government by establishing democracy in Sudan. But that just lasted for 2 years because this guy, General Al-Burhan, he felt, why can't I take over the country and rule for myself? Why can't I become a dictator like President al-Bashir? So in 2021, this guy committed a coup and he took over the Sudanese country. And it was supposed to be ruled by a council of generals. He is a general in the army. So a council of generals, many generals together, they, as a group, they were supposed to rule the country. But over a period of time, in the 2 years period of time, in up to 2023, this guy wanted to take out the power for himself. By then, his ambitions also kept growing. He felt, why can't I become this chief and why can't I take over the country? Like I said, I like this Batman quote. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. That is what happened with President Omar al-Bashir. Even though he initially had good intentions in 1980s and started as a good leader, over the period of time he became the villain, he committed genocides and there came new heroes replacing him. And now these new heroes also became villains. Like this meme says, मर्द सिर्फ अपना पसंदीदा औरत के लिए मर्द सिर्फ अपना पावर के लिए अपना देश को भी जला सकता है. So that is what this guy has been doing since last 2 years. Now I told about RSF. Let's come to the point of 2023 in the timeline. So in 2023, what is happening? On one side, this guy is becoming more powerful. He is the current president of the Sudanese army. He is the head of the Sudanese army. So he is default also the president because like I said, the army is still ruling Sudan. At the same time, his right hand man, General Dagalo, he is the head of this rapid support force. Now a background for this rapid support force. This rapid support force is currently a paramilitary force. It is not the main army but a paramilitary force. Like in India we have the BSF and other paramilitary force. So it is also a paramilitary force which was formed in 2013 by Omar al-Bashir, especially to commit the ethnic cleansing in the Darfur region. I already talked about the genocide. And this RSF is mainly formed by using the people of the militia group called Janjaweed. So these people are basically militia. That militia means somebody who is not into a mainstream army, but they are like terrorists and Naxalites. So using those people, they formed a separate paramilitary force called the Rapid Support Forces. Now this guy is head of those forces. So can you see here, can you see the conflict here? On one side, he is the head of the army. He has a lot of military power in his hands. On the other side, he has an paramilitary force called Rapid Support Forces, which has almost more than 1 lakh people in it. So he has an army for himself. He also has a private army for himself. Now because of the conflict between these two people, one fine day, they both started fighting with each other. And it so happened that they both started attacking each other even in civilian places. These rapid support forces was trying to conquer the Khartoum, the capital, and the army was bombing the capital using airstrikes. And in all of this, the people who lost were the civilians. Civilians were losing their lives, and there have been news reports about the atrocities committed by the rapid support forces on the civilians, lootings, violence, exploitation of women, and many more such. And the main reason given by these two people for fighting is that the way in which they want to bring the democracy in the country. This guy, Mr. Burhan, says that he would bring in the democracy in the country, and he would give away the power to a popular government, a civilian government, which is properly established. But Dagalo is saying that Mr. Burhan is very pro-Islamist and he is committing atrocities. So in order to stop Burhan, I am fighting against the army. So basically, in a ego war between these two people, in a quest for power between these two people, the actual Sudanese civilians, they are suffering from the last 1 year. And even now, various international reports have been saying that Sudan is going through the worst humanitarian crisis, worst hunger crisis, lots of deaths, lots of killings. Because one side the army is fighting the RSF is fighting with the army, and the people who are losing are the civilians. And given to all of this, there are even more complications that recently this Sudanese army people and the people from Burhan's side, they went to the UN saying that UAE is supplying weapons to Mr. Dagalo and this RSF team. Obviously, UAE denied its claims, and currently both of them are fighting with each other on the ground, also fighting diplomatically at UN and UNSC. So this is the reason for the Sudanese conflict. So let's recap again. Basically, there was a guy called President Omar al-Bashir who overthrew the ruling government in 1989, became a dictator. He ruled for 30 years, and there came one more guy who overthrew him in 2021, the popular government in 2021 again, and he is becoming the dictator now. And these both who were friends earlier have become enemies now. Both are struggling for power, both are fighting for power. This guy is the head of the army and he is the president. This guy has a private army called the RSF, and using that they both are fighting each other, and the people actually who are losing are the normal citizens of Sudan. So this is the story of Sudan. I hope you would have enjoyed. Subscribe to our channel for more such videos. Thank you so much.